Newton's third law of motion is that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. It's illustrated in the motion of Newton's cradle. Now, this idea has been played on a bunch, and there's variations on it. Like, for every action, there is a social media overreaction. Or, for every male action, there is a female overreaction. But today I want to put a different twist on it, and it's not a joke. Because Newton's third law seemingly goes beyond just the physics of motion. It expands into metaphysics as well. This might be the only white pill I have to hand out these days. Consider this. Humanity has this inbuilt fascination with swinging from one polar opposite to the other. Pit bulls were considered the most dangerous breed of dog around. They were banned from towns. They were associated with trashy owners. And now pit bulls are considered sweet dogs. They're super smart and loyal and harmless. They have floppy ears. They're named Cupcake or Tootsie. And their liberal white female owners never stop telling us that they wouldn't hurt a fly, no matter how much that isn't the case. But the opinion has swung 180 degrees. Gay sex was considered as taboo as incest, pedophilia, and bestiality, and now society can't stop clapping hard enough for someone who's gay. In fact, it's almost turned into a situation Alexander Solzhenitsyn described during the Soviet Union, where you never wanted to be the first person to stop clapping for Stalin. If you don't show just the right amount of fealty towards another man's love of penises, then you are a part of society's underclass. We made that 180-degree switch. Marijuana was the devil's cabbage, and reefer madness had most Americans convinced that it would cause black men to rape white women. Its use also led to hysteria, suicide, irrational behavior, and mass societal collapse. But today, people won't shut up about how it's natural, and it's a cure for cancer, and it heals, and it treats pain, and it's basically a miracle. And they say all that after a bong rip so hard that they have snot coming out of their eyeballs, and they blow a weed cloud out of their lungs so large it could restore part of the ozone. Whether you agree with how each of these issues turns out is irrelevant, because it's irrefutable that people's positions on these issues did a 180. Because it's inevitable. It just always happens. It's just like Newton's cradle. It always, without fail, will go up, lose momentum, and start swinging the other way. And then pretty soon, the opposite position has the momentum on its side. And this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the specific moment when that ball is swinging upwards, and then it stops. It slows down, it loses momentum, and then it stops going forward completely. I want to apply this to liberalism and democracy and capitalism and the boomer truth regime. It's losing momentum. It could even be swinging the other way right now. We're seeing it in real time. Think of Joe Biden and the U.S. government as the ball right now. In 1 year, the Democrat momentum has completely stopped. The economy has stopped. Growth has stopped. Hope has stalled out. I've said in the past that modern Democrats are so bad at actual governance that the only thing they've become good at these days is campaigning. They're amazing at pretending that they'll be the best Santa Claus in the world, and their list of promises is always cartoonishly large, but when they're in office, they're terrible at it. The veneer comes off, the mask comes off. We see that behind that thin illusion of promises for a better life is a group of people that really hate this country and the people in it. They're like domesticated turkeys who are incapable of breeding because of who they are now. Democrats are incapable of creating jobs, creating hope, creating growth, or making anything better. Just like the domesticated turkey has long forgotten how to procreate. This is why Obama said to Trump, "How are you going to create more jobs? What, with a magic wand?" To them, it might as well be magic, because that's how foreign it is to them. The ball on the downswing is never capable of going back up. It doesn't even know what that is. That's not how it works. The reality is, liberalism is at its logical endpoint, and capitalism is at its logical endpoint. And what is the swing going to be going the other way? Is it bio-Leninism? Is it transhumanism? Is it nuclear war that sets us back 1,000 years? Or maybe on a positive note, is it populism? Is it third positionism? Is it the gay agenda losing popularity and a reset back to a normal state of humanity? Is it the loss of foxes and a return of lions? Is it the Nazball vortex coming on the other end of that downward swing? I'm just spitballing here. I'm not a fortune teller. It could be great, or it could be some alternative hellhole than the one we're in now. But I do know that humanity is a fickle bunch. We get bored easily. We're already uninterested in Ukraine because it wasn't as fast-paced as an Avenger movie. We're over Joe Biden because a year in, he hasn't canceled student debt already. He hasn't fixed healthcare. He's screwed up everything that he said he would do. And damn it, he was supposed to be our guy. We move from one thing to another, always. Nothing is permanent. Liberalism and capitalism has made sure of that. Things that were permanent, stable parts of society like the church or marriage or home ownership or property ownership of any kind are all but dead now. It's hard to even imagine living in the societies of old where, you read about certain movements or religious edicts, and they lasted 300 years. Just so many people living under that, and it never changed. Well, those days are long gone. And yet it does seem to be so permanent, doesn't it? This state that we're in, this retarded state, it seems like it's just going to go on forever. But we seem to be trapped in like a black pill, black hole where light and goodness and decency go to die. But it's not, and it won't be this way forever. Maybe it's a civil war. Maybe it's a revolution. Who knows? Maybe it's a global catastrophe or an EMP that takes away our phones or something. All I know is that this can't be permanent. So something will swing the other way. It's just a question of what it will look like. What do you guys think it will look like? Anyways, that's all the time I have for today. If you enjoyed this video and type of content I'm making, consider giving this video a like or maybe subscribing. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.